Back, everyone, to another episode of Sportsfellas.
Yeah, here we go.
Hey, this is Don in the house, representing Raider Nation.
It's your boy Tristan.
Everett back. It's your Buckeye believing, Houday hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
This is your Bronco busting, Carlos in the house. You guys, we are here. Week 1 is about to kick off. Kicking off with,
finally, here we go.
The Detroit Lions visiting the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl champions. Also, we're going to talk about the college game day of the week and Chuck's Dugout. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
What are some interesting games in college football? We're going to start off with the college game day of the week. We have the Nebraska Cornhuskers visiting the Colorado Buffaloes. Tristan, who you taking?
Colorado. Deion, I mean, I feel like it's easy. I feel like Nebraska hasn't been very good in a while, and Deion Sanders showed last week that they're going to do good this year. So.
Hey, I'll take Colorado because ever since Nebraska left the Big 12, they have not been good at all, and I don't think they even really worry about the program really winning anymore.
I'm not going to lie. I don't pay very much attention to college. I'll take Colorado, I guess, because everyone else has.
Bandwagon, but okay.
I heard a really crazy stat on this Colorado game because it's at Colorado, right? So last year, you could have gone to every single Colorado home game for a combined total of $227 and some odd cents. Like, paid like all the tickets. That's how much. For this game, tickets are now going for over $400 just for this one game. This is just what happened because of last week. Everyone wants to see the prime time, and his sun is starting to shine with that same glow. And I think they're going to keep it rolling. And like you guys said, Nebraska's a bit of a shell. I know they got the new coach, Matt Rule, right, who was at Carolina for a couple of years. Hopefully he does better, but I don't see it happening this year. He's on fire right now, and they're cruising.
Like the song say, why stop the fire? Let's keep it going. Colorado,
Yeah.
This is a great program to watch, and I got to admit, prime time has got them ready, and this is just amazing. I'd like to see Colorado go ahead and take this game, just keep it going. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit into Chuck's Dugout. Let's kind of get started on the baseball, see where everybody's at. Let's kick off with the National League. We have in the West, we have in first place the Los Angeles Dodgers. Coming in second right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Moving on over to the Central, we have the Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago Cubs second. On to the East, shout out to our boy Travis. His Atlanta Braves are in first place. Second up, the Philadelphia Phillies. Now let's go to the American Conference. We have in the West, Chuck's team, the Houston Astros, still in first place. Second, the Seattle Mariners. Into the Central, we have the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. Now note over to the East, we have the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. Any shockers here, Tristan?
Not really, but the thing is the Rangers were in first. They lost one game, and then they got put back in third. So the West is doing really good this year, except for my Angels. But I feel like it's a tough division. I feel like by the end of the playoffs, it could be different.
All right, well, stay tuned, you guys. We will dive in. Oh, before we go, hey, Chris, how's your Reds doing?
Yeah, I think they're right on the cusp. It's kind of them in Chicago. I seem to keep going back and forth a little bit. Hopefully, they made a couple of moves here last week. Hopefully, they can keep it cruising, and we'll see. It's going to be a tight race. It's going to come down to the last few games, so keep swinging.
All right, stay tuned, you guys. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A, here in Wichita, Kansas.
This This is it. We are here, week 1 of the NFL 2023 season. Let's put some respect first. Tristan, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs Kingdom, 3-time Super Bowl champions. Congrats, Tristan. Will they repeat?
Oh, of course. Again, there's so much doubt against us again. I don't understand why.
We're gonna make some believers. We'll just have to find out. Well, you guys, what are we waiting for? Let's go and let's kick it off. We have the Detroit Lions going to Chiefs Kingdom. All right, I'm gonna start this off with you, Tristan. Who you taking and why?
I think this is obvious. I'm taking Chiefs. Now, of course, there's a chance that Travis Kelce won't play, and I feel like he won't, but that doesn't worry me at all, in my opinion. I mean, we have great backup tight ends, Blake Bell, No Gray.
Wichita's own Blake Bell. Let's put some respect on that.
Yeah, Wichita's own. Look at that. And I feel like this just gives a better opportunity for these rookies and these unproven receivers to shine, because they're not bad. They just need to get experience, and this is a game that they're gonna get experience. And plus, it's at Arrowhead. It's one of the hardest stadiums to play at. So
I'm gonna have to go with the upset. Not saying that I'm being a hater, but I take Detroit to win, because without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones for the Chiefs, that I do believe that Detroit has a good chance for the upset. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but it's going to be have to be a high-scoring game from both teams. And with the absence of Chris Jones, I think Detroit has the freedom to run the ball more freely and then open up the pass game. And then here you go with the upset.
I think it's gonna be Kansas City. I think this could be the game that Marquez Valdez-Scantling can shine more with Juju Smith-Schuster out and Travis Kelce. They've still got Pacheco in the back. And then even with Chris Jones out, they've got Snead in the back helping.
Yeah,
Good points, Everett. Good points.
I'm gonna go with Don here on the upset. I know Detroit Lions are a bit of a media favorite, kind of an underdog story. They played really well, got into the playoffs, first time in a while, and I think they're just going to continue that role. I think they're a little underrated. Right now, the Chiefs are about a 5-point betting favorite. They might still win, but I would definitely I would think about that bet. Because the loss of Chris Jones, I think that's big. I don't think Kelsey's quite going to be as big. I think they're still going to put up some points and stuff. I think the hard part is going to because Detroit is really a run-first team, and they have some good runners. And I think that's without Chris Jones in there in the middle eating up some space, man, I think they're going to take a little advantage of that. And so it's going to be tough. And how do you beat Patrick Mahomes? You keep him off the field. So that's Detroit's deal. They're going to want to just rush it. Eat up, 20 minutes a half of ball control and be like, see you guys later with a 3-point win.
I think we got a better linebacker for this year. So I feel like even with Chris Jones, our linebackers will
if the linebackers don't stand a chance against an O lineman that just crushed their D lineman.
Well, here's the catch on that. So let me add my 2 cents in. So right now, let's look at the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Okay, so if Travis Kelce doesn't play, don't forget we got Sky Moore, great white, then Kadarius Toney, also as well the run Pacheco. I mean, so I'm not concerned with Kansas City getting out there put up points. Now we know that Orlando Brandt's gone. Went to Denver. On that side, and also we know Juju's gone, end up going to New England. So there's a little new face, but doesn't matter. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, that's the key person. Now on the Detroit side, we noticed some people have come back. Marvin Jones has come back. Now they got Montgomery on the run game and as well. And Detroit's a fun team to watch this year. Now I've caught on to Tristan through this time and listening to him and everything. It would be very, very skeptical if I went opposite, but I'm going to keep it safe. I'll take Kansas City because they're coming off of that Super Bowl high.
A safe one,
but I will tell you this. I will agree with you. I think Kansas City is going to see some struggling, especially with the pass attack. I don't think they're going to cover St. Brown really well. Marvin Jones could have a low-key interesting game. And as well, if Jared Goff can be protected, think about it. No Frank Clark coming after him, not bad. He can do his progressive checks.
Is going to come after him. Show out, boy.
We'll have to see it happen.
We'll just have to see. So I will take Kansas City on this one for now, but we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and move on over. We have The San Francisco 49ers going to the still visiting Chris's second favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don, who are you taking?
I'm about to take San Francisco because they finally got Nick Bosa to sign a contract.
Oh, did that happen this afternoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Big
just.
contract.
Oh, I bet.
He's going to be coming off that end, just teeing off on Pickett. So if he's got any time to throw the ball, but San Francisco got one of the top defenses in the league. So and Brock Purdy on the opposite side, until you prove everybody wrong, he's going to get it going.
Me? I'm going to say, sorry about that. I'm going to go with the Niners as well. I think this is going to be a really low-scoring game, though. I don't think that Brock Purdy's going to light it up. Steelers have a very good defense as well. T.J. Watt is a beast. And he's going to see Bosa going, and he's going to go, oh, he did that? Watch what I can do to your guy. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair, personally, unless the defenses get in on the scoring act. I think you're in the over/under on it is 42. I don't think it's going to get close to that. I think both teams are well in the teen area. So, but I am going to go with the Niners.
I'm gonna go with the Niners as well because I think it will be a low scoring game, but I think the Niners just have the better offense with Deebo Samuel and McCaffrey.
Oh, it's 100% the Niners, man. I read a statistic. I think the Niners have like 5 or 4 of the highest paid players. It's just like crazy to think about.
How do they do that?
It's just crazy to think about. And now Nick Bosa is the highest paid
Defense.
So they're just ridiculous defensively, man. I think it's going to be a little bit slower starting off offensively, but it's the Niners, man.
The 49ers are just a well-versed team. Of course, Coach Shanahan's got them going. And let's look out on the offense side. So Brock Purdy's back. I mean, it's just so unfortunate that he had that performance in the NFC Championship last year. But now you got Christian McCaffrey back in action. George Kittle is back. Hopefully, he's questionable right now, but hopefully he can come back, see what some reps he can do as well. Then you got that versatile in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. So therefore, for them to torch the Steelers. Now, we know the front line, TJ Watt, of course, he's going to be coming after Purdy. So, for that to happen, to keep San Francisco off the field, they're going to have to make consecutive plays. And now with Pickens, I mean, I'm looking forward to this year with him. With him, and then you got Najee Harris as well. And who did they pick up? Wide receiver? No, wide receiver for the Steelers. What's his name? They just
Pickens?
Pickens, yes, Pickens. Yeah, I was thinking
Pickett to Pickens.
Pickett, Pickens. Okay, my fault, Chris. My fault. 'Cause
Well,
I know
don't forget,
I can tell in your voice. He's such a Steeler fan at heart.
Yeah, I'm going to say this for Eric's benefit. Don't forget about Minka Fitzpatrick and their secondary. They do have a decent. I mean, that's what I was saying. Their defense is not.
Shout out to all our
Sometimes walk away
Steeler
from it.
fans. Shout out to Eric. Man, I hope you're doing well, my friend. And then, of course, let's don't forget our 49er fans. Willie, Maria, hope everybody in the family, they're doing well. Patrick. So, yeah, we'll take, and then my daughter, of course, Steeler fan. Yes, I'm going to take the 49ers. I just think their high-octane offense is just going to give Pittsburgh a hard time. But it'll be a close affair. Let's move on over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting who? The Skull. Minnesota Vikings. All right. Tristan, I'm going to start off with you. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Minnesota. Just that offense is, I feel like it's going to go crazy. They just got a lot of great players on both sides of the field and coming off a playoff from last year. So.
Take Minnesota as well. All I got to say is Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. That's it.
I'm going to take the Vikings as well. This is going to be the game for their new running back to shine.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota at home, coming off of a really good year last year. Tampa Bay, they've got a lot of new pieces going on. Of course, Baker Mayfield. It's a 6-point spread on the books right now. It might not be too far off, really. I mean, this is going to be the Vikings are going to be they're the favorites, and they're going to be probably rolling with it. That's my pick.
I'm going to piggyback off of you real quick. What a great point. Great point. I mean, especially right now with the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, he's back. We just don't know how much longer we got to deal with him. But no Dalvin Cook. Okay, we got some to shine. Then you got TJ Hawkinson coming back as well, Jay Jettis. And then I keep rooting for this guy, KJ Osborne. I would like him to step up. I mean, this guy is a
Gonna have to
good
do
wide receiver.
something.
He's just going to have to make something happen. Now, defensively, though, Minnesota, they lost Hendricks, right? Hendricks, he left. He went to the Chargers, I believe. And also, one of the things that I'm really intrigued about is the Vikings brought in Brian Flowers to step up on that defense, especially
Yeah.
in the NFC North. This is going to be very interesting. You got caliber teams going in, so they got a lot of work on their hands. But I'm going to take Minnesota. They're at home, and hopefully they can rebound from last year's playoff appearance and see what they do from there. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on over. We have the Houston Texans going against the Dirty Birds of the Baltimore Ravens. Shout out to Chuck and Houston Texans. And, of course, we got to give a shout to Taylor. Taylor, big old Ravens fan. Got to show some love at Mr. Smith. Travis, hope he's doing well. All right, kick it off with you, Driston. Who you taking?
Baltimore. They're just a better well-rounded team. Lamar Jackson's coming back, so I feel like they're going to look really good. And Houston's still rebuilding, so.
Just got to go with Baltimore. Just piggyback off what he said. Houston's rebuilding right now, and Baltimore just all-around better team.
I'm going to go with Baltimore, too. They're definitely better. But this will be their game to prove that C.J. Stroud and if they still have O.J. Howard? Never mind then. It's definitely Baltimore.
You were on a roll, Everett, and then you just dropped. It's okay.
I'm going to go with Baltimore for the win, but just checking out the spreads, and they're a 10-point favorite, so obviously Vegas has them winning. But that's a pretty big spread for a first week because a lot of new pieces to Houston, so there's not a lot of tape yet. When there's not a lot of tape, sometimes they, especially an athlete like C.J. Stroud, and they also got that the defensive guy third, right? They got second and traded back up to get third in the draft. I can't remember. But anyway, so they've got some new pieces. I agree they're going to be in rebuilding. I think that they're a team that could catch some people. I don't think it's going to be Baltimore this week. But they might beat that spread if someone's a betting fan.
Well, already with Houston, there's a lot of promise. They're a young team, especially with C.J. Stroud coming in. I mean, you still got the running back and Dameon Pierce as well. And overall, going in offensively, they're just going to have to play very conservative because Baltimore, they are not going to let up. And we know already Baltimore is a great defense. And now on their offense side, of course, they just added, Odell Beckham. So he's going to be interesting to watch. Now Dobbins is back healthy as well. Yeah. Now the Texans just picked up that coach, D'Amico Ryans.
Yes,
so D'Amico Ryans is going to have to figure out how they can control Lamar. Lamar's got something to prove this year, and they're just going to be a dangerous team. And so it's kind of like when I'm shopping and I see that Dirty Bird, that Raven coming around, that's how I view this Baltimore team. So you're asking, what does that got to do with shopping? Nothing. All I'm just saying is that they're just there. So we got to keep an eye out on them. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on over to the NFC South. We have the Carolina Panthers going against the Atlanta Falcons. Chris, who are you taking?
I'm going to go. This one's tough. There's a lot of new pieces. Both have new quarterbacks. New coach over at Carolina with Frank Reich. I love that. I think he's a good coach. I think he had a bad kind of deal in Indianapolis where they just wouldn't give him a quarterback that wasn't on his retirement tour. Anyway, or just Carson Wentz. But I do think I think Atlanta's going to be pretty good. But actually, I think that this is going to be one that's going to catch people. Bryce Young. With Carolina, I think they're going to be better than some people think. So actually, I'm going to go with the upset in this. I'm going to take Carolina Panthers to upset the favorite Atlanta. I know it's rough, but hey.
I think I'm also going to take Carolina because what I at least hope is Bryce Young and DJ Chark, whatever. I think that they can make a pretty good connection. They just got to prove it.
Yeah, this one was tough because both teams played poorly last year, and they have a lot of rookies and new guys that have to step up to the plate. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Carolina too, simply because of I know they got Bijan Robinson. I'm sure he's going to eat and everything. But, listen, and at the end of the day, it's your quarterback that matters, and I feel like Bryce Young's just a better quarterback. And I'm a believer in him this year, so I'm going to go with Carolina.
Man. Even listening to everybody say Carolina, I'm just thinking it's in Atlanta. Hard for me to take a pick, and like you said, both teams are new quarterbacks, but I might have to get the slight edge to Atlanta because at home and the quarterback is in his second year, so he's got better experience. And everybody's in love with Bijan Robinson right now, moving the ball. So
That's why I got him in fantasy.
so I'm about to give Atlanta the slight edge, but the game could still go either way.
Great points. And here, let's just start off with Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta overall, they still see. There's a player we haven't talked about. They still got a sneaky player in Cordell Patterson, multiverse player as well. And then of course, Bijan Robinson. Of course, where did he go to college at, Tristan? No. Put some emphasis on that, please.
UT.
Emphasis, please.
The Longhorns.
And where's that at, Everett?
Texas.
You won. Good job. All right, so check this out. That being said, it's in Atlanta. But let's look at Carolina. Shout out to Esme and Andrew Pauly. They're big Panther fans. Here's the deal with with Carolina. You got Bryce Young coming in, bringing in this culture here. And, of course, with the additions of DJ Shark, Adam Thielen as well. Now, on the running back committee, they picked up Miles Sanders as well from Philly. So this is a new, different team going in. But they're going to go against a young pass rush team in Atlanta. They're no joke. They're young, and that's scary, very scary. And what we need to figure out is with Atlanta adding Bates from Cincinnati, there's going to be some leadership. So there's experience going on. The NFC South needs to revitalize. They need to come back.
They do.
Tampa Bay has been running it for a while, but they're going to have to go through their phase as well. But this is the time to shine. So we have 3 people Carolina, 1 Atlanta. Guess what? Atlanta's at home. I think this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. I'm going to take Atlanta for, they're at home. They're at home.
Yeah.
But when they go to Carolina, I'll take Carolina. Depends. All right, let's go ahead and move on over. We have the Arizona Cardinals going against the Washington Commanders. Tristan, who you taking?
Bro, this is easy. It's Washington because Arizona's just, I feel like, in kind of shambles. And, they're just not good. They don't look good on paper, and they didn't play good last year. So I'm going to have to go with the team, man.
Yeah, I'm going to also have to go with the Commanders. The Commanders also have Terry McLaurin, who is a pretty good wide receiver, and then the Cardinals don't really have anything, and J.J. Watt's not even very helpful anymore.
He's retired.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Arizona Cardinal fans. It's nothing against you guys. It's just going to be a long season.
Hey, I gotta go with the Commanders because outside of James Conner for the Cardinals, it just seemed like they're not really trying at this point. So
I don't know if they've got some idea of a first-round pick coming up next year because they just signed Kyler last year to that big old contract, and I mean that's not
How's that working out?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's. I think this is like the lowest over/under of the week, but the line is still Commanders are the favorite by 7 points, which is a pretty big spread. But I think it's worth it. Like Cardinals are just like you guys are saying, like they're not good. We don't know anything about there's no one that's really. Someone's probably going to score for their team, but I don't see them winning.
This is very interesting because now the Commanders are seeing a new culture change. Ron Rivera bringing in Coach Bieniemy from where, Tristan? Just throwing it out there.
Huh?
Oh, he forgot. This 2023, Tristan, he lost. Let me help everybody out.
Bieniemy.
So they're getting ready to change up the system there in Washington. There's a lot of changes going on, and as well, I feel a lot of discipline going in. So now you've got, McLaurin going in the wide receiver position. Will Curtis Samuel step up? I mean, the guy was great. He was kind of flying under the radar last year. Now they've got Chase Young back on the defense. So the Commanders has got something to prove this year. So on the flip side with Arizona, besides Arizona's changing up their jersey a little bit, James Conner is really pretty much what they got going on for them, and it's not looking too shabby, especially going in the NFC West. It's going to be a long season for you guys. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to this is a very interesting game. I'm going to call this the trap game. So every trap game we will call out. We have an AFC South showdown with the Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Indianapolis Colts. Don, who you taking?
I'm taking Jacksonville because with Calvin Ridley now finally get to play alongside with Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence is going to have a field day. And then, of course, with ATM running the ball, it's like I don't think Indianapolis can handle all that. And on the other side with, I can't say his name right now, the rookie quarterback.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. he's a rookie right now, so he's just gonna have to get acclimated in the season. Yes, he may look decent in the preseason, but this is regular season
Yeah,
now. So
it's different.
this is where the big boys are coming, so you got to get ready.
Oh, 100% Jacksonville. They had a great season last season, and now everybody's just more experienced. And Calvin Ridley, man, I'm a big fan of Calvin Ridley. He's phenomenal. So 100% Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville for sure. With Kirk and Lawrence, even though the Colts have DeForest Buckner, I don't think they'll be able to stop Etienne and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there with Jacksonville. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence really started to blossom with a real head coach in Doug Peterson and a real coaching staff with his staff. And I think that's just going to continue with his second year in the system and everyone else's as well. So Jacksonville's also Calvin Ridley. Don't listen to this part. They're 5-point favorites. Don't need to worry about that, Ridley. Just play. I think they're going to take that and probably even more with the Colts, who have ruled the division for so long, and now they're just at the bottom of it, wallowing. It's sad.
Let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our Colts fans, Cole and the family, and Gracie and Kyle. It's all love here, but right now the Colts, you guys are sitting kind of down there. I mean, right now we've got the rise of the Jags going in. Trevor Lawrence is going in the season more confident than ever. I just feel like watching him in Clemson and now watching him at the Jags, what a great experience that he had in that playoffs game against Kansas City. Even though Kansas City prevailed, it was a great game. I mean, he did what he could. Now he's got those additions going in with Christian Kirk as well, and then you've got a great running game as well. So on the flip side with the Colts, now you have that young rookie in Anthony Richardson, and now we know already. Hey, welcome to the new coach Shane. How do you say his name? Stetchen or Stetchen? How do you say? Steichen.
I don't know.
Sorry
really.
for butchering your name, but we'll get it together. Trust me. He said it already in a conference that it's going to be a running back committee running right now since the whole Jonathan Taylor situation. So, Jonathan, let us know if you ever want to come to the show. Just talk to me. Talk to us. Tell us your point of view on why you are not playing. Please. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's move on over from them. Let's go ahead and move over to the Tennessee Titans going to visit the New Orleans Saints. All right. I'm going to start this off with you, Don. Who you taking?
I'm taking New Orleans at home because they just have slightly more better talent than Tennessee has. Because besides Derrick Henry and D-Hop, on the other side, you've got Chris Olave, Derek Carr, who just came back to receive on the opposite side of the ball. I can't say his
Michael
name.
Thomas.
Yeah, Michael Thomas. With them two on the opposite side, New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with New Orleans. They're home. They've got, for sure, a better QB this year in Derek Carr. And then Derrick Henry and really D-Hop. He doesn't even have, D-Hop doesn't really have a QB there even. They don't have any, he doesn't have anyone to throw to get it.
Oh, it's 100% New Orleans, man. Listen, D-Hop's a phenomenal receiver, but like you said, Everett, if he doesn't have a QB to throw to him, then how's he going to get the ball? Man, last year they finished 30th in passing offense. They're terrible at passing the ball because they don't got a quarterback to throw it. If they did, Traylon Burks would have popped off last year. But, yeah, all they got is Derrick Henry. That's all they're going to rely on this game, I feel like. And unfortunately for them, now the New Orleans Saints actually have a good quarterback this year. So.
Yeah, I'm with New Orleans Saints as well at home. I like kind of what they're doing. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how they go. I know Kamara's still out. I think maybe he has a 3-game suspension. So he still won't be in. But I think they'll still have enough to put it away at home. And the Saints are pretty good at home. They're a good home team. So.
Well, we know already Tennessee starts out slow, but the thing is right now with New Orleans, with the addition of Derek Carr, I mean, right now he's got weapons to replenish. Michael Thomas coming back, of course, and we know already Olave, and then Taysom Hill. We know already he's versatile. Now, on the defensive side, they had to start young. We saw some keep people moving on. And we know Kamara serving a 6-game suspension? Is that 3-game suspension? Okay, not bad. Once he comes back, that team's getting better. I'm telling you right now, be on the lookout for this team, the NFC South. So I will take New Orleans as well. Let's move on over to AFC North divisional rivals here. We have the Cleveland Browns going against the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, Chris, let's start it off with you. Who you taking?
Come on, it's going to be Cincy. It doesn't matter who's quarterbacking. But actually, the Browns have kind of had Cincinnati's number for the past couple years. A couple of those times, one of those times Joe Burrow wasn't in, he was hurt. One of those times was he had just come back from appendectomy, or no, that was Steelers. I'm right. The other time, a couple times they've lost to him at the end of the season when there were just games they didn't have to have. So this will be interesting. Will Deshaun Watson be back to form? I think Burrow's playing. They still haven't said definitively. I think he's probably questionable, is how they have him listed. I suspect he will play because he's been sitting now it'll be 6 weeks by then. And, I mean, it was just a calf strain. So, obviously, if he's not healthy yet, let him sit another week or two. I think that they can still beat the Browns even without him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Cincinnati. Even if Joe Burrow isn't there, it doesn't really matter. Like, they still have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to throw to. They're going to probably still catch it. And the Browns are still doing pretty well. Like, they've been beating Cincinnati for a long time, but I'm still going to go with the Bengals.
Who's home? Is it the Bengals?
It's in Cleveland.
Okay. It's in Cleveland.
Stop the press. I just found out Deshaun Watson did not get a massage. Just throwing it out there.
This is actually tough. I kind of like the Browns this year, and I'm coming into this thinking Deshaun Watson is going to look how he looked in Houston.
People keep saying that.
I'm coming in there. But it's tough, man. I'm gonna go with the Browns.
Okay.
I'm going with the Browns on this one because you know what? Why not? They have a good team.
Right now, everything's leaning towards Cincinnati, and provided that calf strain doesn't bother him, they shouldn't have a problem winning. But if he doesn't have the mobility that he needs to, to move around in the pocket,
Myles Garrett's still
that could be detrimental to Cincinnati. So right now, I'm gonna give the slight edge to Cincinnati.
We're going to the dog pound here. I'm going to take Cleveland, and I will tell you why. Jim Schwartz, he's going to shape up that defense. Now, you've got Myles Garrett.
Defense has never been the problem.
Myles Garrett is back. Now, we have the addition of Zadarius Smith and the big O. I don't know how to say his name. It's Okoronikowo.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, just holler at me. Dalvin Thompson. I mean, these guys are going in, and especially don't forget, we've got, Cooper. Cooper getting ready for the receiving. Peoples-Jones, if I'd like to see him kind of step up as well. Don't forget Nick Chubb.
That's where they got some.
This is where they can run it up the
That's
gut
where they
against
get
Cincinnati.
That's where Hubbard and Reeder have to step it up just because Nick Chubb.
But we're gonna take the dog pound. We're gonna show some love to Cleveland. So we're gonna take Cleveland. We're still friends, right?
You guys may not make the playoffs.
It's all right
this
if
year,
you like to
Chris.
lose.
Okay.
You can take the Browns.
Here comes the trash talk. Settle down, everybody. Settle down.
It's still the Browns.
Here comes where the real talking comes. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, commitment to excellence, visiting the Mile High, the Denver Broncos. I'm going to kick it off with you, Don. Who you taking?
Of course, I got to go with my team, the Raiders, because they're going to have a much smarter offensive side of the ball with the receiver core. And right now, with Denver with Jerry Jeudy, he's not playing. So I know Sean Payton's coming here to shape up the team, but without Jerry Jeudy, and they lost, I can't remember the other receiver they had lost during the preseason. But if they're only dependent on Javonte Williams and backup running back to move the ball, they're gonna have a hard time doing it against that Raider defensive line. So of course, I'm going with my team.
This is a tough one for me. Because
Really?
I have,
Of course.
yeah,
Really?
It is a tough one for me. Really, really, it is because I have high hopes for Denver this year, but I do think it's going to be Las Vegas. They just got a well-rounded defense and offense compared to the Broncos, and honestly, the Broncos didn't prove nothing during the preseason, and they definitely didn't prove nothing last year. So they're going to have to show it, And I do think y'all are going to do better this year, just not in week one, unfortunately.
Real quick, how was it like being at the Mile High City, Drisson?
Oh, it was beautiful. Too bad y'all suck, bro.
Okay,
Y'all can't
next.
win in that stadium.
Go ahead, Everett.
Man.
I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think like Tristan said, the Broncos will be better with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. I think he's gonna get Russell Wilson into shape. He'll definitely be a better QB. I think, but the defense is still gonna tear him up. He doesn't really have a bunch of receivers to throw to, really. So
I think Sean Payton is a creative enough offensive mind that he's going to figure out some way around the receiver issue. To me, this one just comes down to who's the better coach, and I think it is Sean Payton. I'm not like, oh, Sean Payton's the greatest coach ever, like some people like to do or have done this summer, but I do think he's a better coach than Josh McDaniels. And to me, a big part of the game is coaching. So I think that the coaching's going to win out. And obviously, Mile High, you get a little, especially early on in the season when they've been having training camp in Denver. They've actually do have a little bit of a home field advantage with the altitude. So that's why Denver's my pick.
This is going to be an interesting pick because overall we see some improvement with Russell Wilson. He's dropped weight. He got out of that whole prima donna kind of deal going on that he had. Sean Payton came in, the new sheriff, and he shut that down. Russell Wilson, hey, congrats. He's going to be a father again. Congratulations to you and the family. But here's the deal. Offensively, Denver is not scary. Offensively, they're not. Their defense is the one that has kept them on the field. Last year, Devontae Adams torched the wide receiving core. Torched them. It was just ridiculous. And now we're going to have to see what Russell's going to do because, we've got Max Crosby getting ready to go after you. And the thing is that I'm not intimidated by your secondary. It's just how is the front line going to get to Russell Wilson? I feel it's going to be one of those games where key mistakes is going to make the team prevail. And so, of course, I got to root for my team, because it's blue and orange up in here. But if we don't come out here to win, I think there's going to be question marks on going forward. That's how the way I see it, because there's no way if we don't get over the Raiders, there's no way definitely we're not going to compete against Kansas City. And then definitely I think the Chargers would have a heyday with us. If they're going to come better, more improved, then we're going to have problems. But for now, let's stay optimistic. I'm going to go ahead and take Denver. Let's go ahead and move on over to the Philadelphia Eagles going against the New England Patriots. Tristan, who are you taking?
I'm taking Philly, unfortunately lost the Super Bowl, but they are a fantastic team to watch. And New England, just not really any playmakers that can compete in my opinion, so it's definitely Philly.
I'm going to also take the Eagles. I do feel like Smith-Schuster might be fun to watch against the Eagles defense, but still, it's going to be the Eagles. They still got Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, A.J. Brown kind of, I think he turned that offense around when he came in last year. I mean, he's just unstoppable, and it opens up the rest of them. So I'm going Eagles. This is only a 4-point they're only 4-point favorites. It's because they're away, but that's not a very big long trip for them to take. And I don't think it's going to be big. And I think this is the year Belichick is on the hot seat. I think if they miss the playoffs this year, I think he's gone. I mean,
what?
I do. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. And I got Eagles winning this one, and I got them beating that spread of 4 points. They're going to win by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Eagles because the defense, as good as the defense that the New England Patriots have, they're not going to be able to contain that offense for long. And then on the New England's offense, I don't really think.
But they got Juju.
I know, but Philly's going to come after him, so, he may not have time to throw the ball.
I just want to know, why did Coach Belichick, shout out to all the Patriot fans, why did he let go of Zappe and all the quarterbacks trying out to put all his eggs in that basket with Mac Jones? I like Mac Jones. But you got to have someone to help you out. And the thing is they're not offensively. They're not scary. They're not scary. I mean, Juju's not to me.
And Zeke are the only two things.
And Zeke can't run every down. He'll get 2-3 yards per carry.
Well, I think Ramondre Stevenson's definitely going to have the workload. And
Yeah, Zeke will be short yardage, goal line.
Philly's going to go in there and just
their D-line alone is going to
there's just not really
their D-line's going to be crazy this year.
No, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to be real fun to watch. I mean, coming off that Super Bowl loss, he's going to do some growing pains, him and A.J. Brown, and also everyone's just going to have to step up. But here's the deal. don't be surprised if we see Philadelphia going into the playoffs. It's going to be a scary team to watch. Let's go ahead and move on over to the NFC West. We have the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to kick this off with you, Tristan. Who are you taking?
I am taking the Seahawks. Better, well-rounded defense, and offensively also they have, in my opinion, stronger weapons. So, yeah, give me the Seahawks, man. The Rams, Cooper Kupp's out. Kind of says I feel like all you need to say again. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. They've got Geno Smith and DK Metcalf on that offense, and the Rams, all that's happened to them is they lost Jalen Ramsey, and that's not going to help. Cooper Kupp's out. They don't really have anything to help.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to really solidify kind of that third to fourth place in the NFC conference overall kind of team. I think that we'll see Geno Smith take a little step forward, and he's got the receivers. Like that's a great receiving core there, and it sounds like they've stepped up the defense this year, had some good defensive additions, and really got some new turnaround. So I'm going Seahawks in this one.
This is going to be really interesting. Seattle it's debatable between them and Kansas City. I mean, I've been in both stadiums, loudest stadiums in the NFL. I mean, they're both loud. Seattle fans are really rowdy, and it's going to get loud. And the NFC West, I feel this year will go to, it's going to come down to Seattle and San Francisco. But here's the thing. Seattle, they're young. Geno Smith is playing with confidence. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett are coming back. Look on. They picked up that wide receiver. I just can never say his long. What's his name, Tristan? You know their rookie wide receiver they just picked up for the Seahawks. Oh, what's his name? Oh, I should have took my note. But anyways, so you got them going. And also you have the defense. They're young. It paid off. Letting go of Russell Wilson, bringing in Pete Carroll's got this team lined up. You talk about the hot seat. I'm not going to say Pete Carroll will be on the hot seat, but there will be questions. There will be questions because they're going to say
they don't get a win in the playoffs. Definitely,
yeah, there will be questions. I'm going to leave it at that for all the Seahawk fans. There'll be questions. That's all I can say on the matter.
Going to start getting warm.
All right, let's go ahead and dive in over to Miami. The Dolphins visiting the T-Bolts, the Los Angeles Chargers. Tristan, who are you taking and why?
All right, give me the Dolphins, bro.
Yeah.
I like the Dolphins in this one, man. I think they got an underrated defense. Even though Ramsey's out, they still got great safeties, and Xavier Howard's still there. And then, of course, Bradley Chubb's going to be putting pressure. Like, they got a good defense. And, of course, Tua, it looks like he's staying healthy. And I think everybody's been making fun of him because this video went viral of him about, like, practicing how to, like, I guess, fall to the ground so he doesn't get a concussion or something. I mean, and I think he made a play in preseason where, like, it worked. You know, he, like, fell on his back, it avoided hitting his head. So I feel like we're gonna see improvement with his injuries this year. And with that, you know, if he stays healthy, this team's dangerous. That offense goes crazy when he's healthy.
I wish they would have made a video of Cam Newton picking up the ball.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
That would have been very nice. But all that to say, listen, I like Herbert, but he does not deserve all that money, man. They're losing week one.
Wow, really?
They're losing week one.
Tristan, you came off kind of cold. Man, you're cold as ice, bro. You're colder than the winter breeze.
Speaking the truth.
Season 5, Game of Thrones, that guy right there. All right, Everett, who you got?
I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins. Their offense is going to torch the Chargers' defense, especially with, Tua's back, and he's going to be playing pretty well. And then they've got Tyreek Hill up there, and then they're also going to have, what's his name, Mostert in the running game. They've got a pretty good overall. Like, I feel like last season they were one of the teams, like, probably the team that you would pick, like, right in the middle of good and bad. Now they're coming up to the better side.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dolphins. They're actually an underdog, just a 3-point, but it's a home game for the Chargers, so they are the underdog. And I think that this is going to be a big scoring game. It's a 51-point over-under, so both teams scoring right around 25 points. I think it could be more than that. I think both these teams could get into the 30s pretty easily.
100%.
But I think the Dolphins are going to maybe get into the 40s, and Chargers only going to get into the 30s. So Like Tristan said, they're going to have another year starting at 0-1, and that seat is already warm, I believe, for that coach. So it's going to start getting hot really fast.
I'm going to have to go with the Chargers on this one because, both teams on the offensive side of the ball have receivers that are deep threats. Yes, Miami's deep receivers are slightly faster because of Tyreek Hill, but the Chargers do have a better running back, so he can do multi-purpose things in the backfield. So, and it's all going to come down to the defense, who's going to stop who the most. And right now, I think the Chargers have a better slight defense that's going to be able to make better stops than the Miami does.
You read my mind, Don. I feel that on the defensive side of the Chargers, their pass rush is much better. I mean, yes, Bradley Chubb. I mean, he's a beast for the Dolphins. But let's look at the Chargers side. Justin Herbert's back. Now you've got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. They're there. Then you've got Austin Eckler. Now they're more versatile. But when you look at their defense side, Asante Samuel Jr., great corner as well. And who's the other corner for the Chargers? He's not that bad either. He just was very skeptical in a couple of the games. I still don't like their secondary. They give up too much in the air. And then when it goes into a running affair, sometimes they just can't stop the run. And that's one of the Chargers' Achilles' problem is that when they get in these really good games, they struggle. So now Miami, Gesicki's gone from tight end as well, and but they still got Waddle and they've got Tyreek. I'm gonna take the Chargers by a field goal. I'll take the Chargers by a field goal.
There you go.
All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the NFC North. We have the Green Bay Packers visiting the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Who are you taking, Tristan?
This one's interesting to me because, of course, the Bears didn't play too good last season, but I feel like they've improved during the offseason. But it kind of depends how Jordan Love does. I'm going to go with the Bears. I like Justin Fields this season, and I like the weapons he has around him. So, I think it's going to be close, maybe a field goal, but give me the Bears.
I don't know about that because the Packers, they did pretty good last season, but that was because they had A-Rod, Lazard. They both went.
Mm-hmm.
They both left to the Jets, and they don't really have very many weapons anymore. I'm gonna go with the Bears only because they have Justin Fields, which is one more weapon than the Packers have.
I mean, Packers still have Watson. Was it Christian Watson? Isn't that the young guy that started coming on late last year? So they still got him. They still got Jones and Dillon in the backfield.
And they still got a phenomenal defense.
And their defense is still strong. But the Chicago Bears got that.
They got a number one receiver.
They finally got a real, and he looked good with, who was thrown to him, like some practice squad quarterback or USFL retread at some point last year.
3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he had such a rough situation the last couple of years with Matt Rule in Carolina. So I think that him and Justin Fields are gonna lock up. And I mean, Fields is, we saw him. He was getting 100-yard games left and right rushing, and I mean, they have to account for him. And one-on-one, Moore's going to win every time, I think. So I think Moore's going to do for the Bears offense and for Fields what Brown did for Hurts and Philly. I really do. So I think this is actually a 1-point spread on the sports book I'm looking at. So that's basically a pick 'em. So I'm going to pick the Bears.
I'm going to take Chicago. I think now Aaron Rodgers is gone now, so that kind of helps. This is the new era of Jordan Love. He's gonna grow in, and the Packers are just gonna be a better team. They're gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to use heavily on the run game. So of course, it's just I can't wait to see the Bears see their new helmet. They're going orange. That's gonna be kind of cool to see them in all orange. Yeah,
I like that.
I like it. The Bears. So I'm taking the Bears. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Sunday night game. We have the Dallas Cowboys going against the Demon and the New York Giants. Who are you taking, Tristan?
Give me the Cowboys. I do think this is going to be a really good game because I think both teams have playmakers and playmaking ability on both sides of the field. But the Cowboys just have a better overall offense. Tony Pollard's going to pop off this year, man. I think everybody's excited about Pollard, seeing how he did last year. And without Zeke to interfere with that, he's really got no competition in the backfield. Of course, CD's going to go crazy. And I like Dallas's offense more. That's why I'm taking Dallas.
I like. I'm curious also about that backfield in Dallas. Deuce Vaughn. I'm curious to see where he fits in because
He had a pretty
he's
good
a local
preseason.
K-State
Yeah.
for us. So he did
Make
have
us
a really
proud,
good
make us
preseason.
proud.
So he'll probably be more of a special teams guy, probably
Yeah.
to start off with. But if he gets a chance to get in the backfield, I think he's going to be scary good, a la what was that old K-Stater that used to Sproles, the little Darren
Sproles.
Sproles.
Yeah,
He was in the league for a long time, tearing it up. I think that Vaughn could do something similar.
I hope Deuce Vaughn
But
makes
I'm
all
actually
the
going to
shots.
pick the Giants on this. I don't know. I think that they're going to they kind of took everyone by storm last year. I think they're a gritty team. And I just don't like Dallas. So I'm going with the Giants.
Really?
This is gonna be another very close game for sure. The Giants, they're pretty good. Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley, they've got a fairly good offense. I think that the Cowboys though is definitely like the Giants have the better run game for sure with the Cowboys losing Zeke, but in the passing game, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, it's gonna be the Cowboys.
As much as that pains me to say this, I'm about to say Dallas.
No, you don't have to. You have a choice.
But here's the thing, though. That offensive line's going to help move the ball and control the line of scrimmage. And with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks on each side of the ball, New York's going to keep competitive because they got, Danny Dimes can keep the ball moving. He's got, Darren Waller to throw to and Saquon to throw to out the backfield as well. But Dallas has just got the better defense right now, so I do believe Dallas has a slight edge.
We
think
the boys.
I think Daboll's a better coach though than McCarthy.
Yes,
Yeah,
by
so-
far. Well, check this out. Look with Dallas. So now their additions. You got Brandon Cooks. Now still got Michael Gallup that's there as well, and then Pollard and Vaughn, and then also on the defensive side, did they just pick up Stephon Gilmore? Didn't they pick him up?
Yep.
I mean, he's going to
forgot
be
about that.
he's going to be locking up. I think
That's gonna
this
be tough, dude.
Dallas's defense this year is going to pair off with the Philly defense this year.
Especially with
they're going to be up there.
Trayvon Diggs still.
Oh yeah, and don't forget Trayvon Diggs. But hey, shout out to the Cowboy fans, Brooks and the family. Shout out to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. You always got to show love to the Cowboy fans because they're a lot. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. But here's the deal: it's Sunday night. They're under the spotlight. Dallas loves to shine on those big games, and they're going to kick off 1-0. I will take the Dallas Cowboys. Well, you guys, before we dive into the game of the week, do not forget this year for Sportsfellas, we will do what's called the Lead Hundo Picks. So the weekly winner will get a small prize, and we will give away a big prize. So whoever gets the most wins. So stay tuned on that, you guys. We will do that weekly and at the end of the year. So before we dive in, let's take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
Game of the week is brought to you by State Farm. Call our friend Ernie Relis for your home, life, and auto needs. Call him at 316-682-2300. Tell him that your friends from Sportsfellas send you on over. All right, Chris, we've got an AFC East showdown. We have the what, Driston?
The Jets, man.
Okay, let's pause. It's the Jets, Jets.
I love that chant, but it takes too long.
Okay, well, we're on a time frame here. Going against the Buffalo Bills. All right, let's kick it off with you, Don. Who are you taking and why?
Man. Because I want to say Buffalo, but
They're looking good, aren't they?
Aaron Rodgers got some weapons to throw to as well, but the key factor is if Gabe Davis can contribute to the offense for Buffalo, then you got to give it to Buffalo. And it is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Who's home?
The Jets.
Yeah, it's
Give me the Jets, baby. Oh, yeah, the Jets. You like the Jets this season? You got Aaron Rodgers, 3-time, 4-time MVP or something like that. I don't know. You got, listen to this receiving core. They got a better receiving core because, of course, you got Garrett Wilson, who's I think is going to make
Offensive
a
Rookie of the Year.
phenomenal step up this year with the Because
He's going to have a quarterback.
To him last year. Yeah, this year
Joe
he has an
Flacco,
MVP.
retired Joe Flacco.
Of
But they
course-
still suited him up and let him go.
Okay, so of course Garrett Wilson's, and then you got McCole Hardman from the Chiefs. You got Alan Lazard. You got Randall Cobb, and Jason Brownlee. You just got a crazy receiving core in my opinion, and the running backs are amazing. Dalvin Cook, Brees Hall, Michael Carter, all phenomenal. Their defense is great, man. Sauce Gardner, of course, and Quinnen Williams, and man, CJ Mosley. They just have so many amazing playmakers on both sides of the field, and they are home. Give me the Jets. I am so excited for the Jets this season, and I can't wait till they beat the Bills in the week 1.
I'm gonna go with the Jets as well. They are gonna be a fun team to watch out here. They've got, like Tristan said, an amazing wide receiver team. Plus they have Aaron Rodgers. Plus on the defense they've got Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner. It's gonna be them because even Stephon Diggs, Sauce Gardner. Stephon Diggs isn't gonna be open as much.
Yeah, I've got to go. I mean, the Bills are the betting favorite right now, and they've kind of owned the division the last few years. Obviously, Josh Allen is great. Stephon Diggs, that whole team is really, really good. But the Jets were right there nipping at their heels the last couple of years without a quarterback. And now they have one of the best quarterbacks that's played the game that can still play the game as well. I know he kind of fell off, but I think that was more of like a quiet quitting type deal. Less like, no, I'm not going to help train the guys that are coming in here. Like, no, I'm out. But it seems like Aaron Rodgers is in fully and focused, and Aaron Rodgers is a beast of a player. So I think the Jets are going to start off, and they're going to be a hard team to beat this year. They're winning this week.
Tristan and I, we were talking a lot about the Jets. He low-key was getting ready to go to NFLshop.com and buy some Jet stuff. I caught you, man. I caught you slipping.
I would do it.
I
think it's okay to have a second team. I
That's
think
my
it's
second
okay.
favorite team.
And
It's
especially
okay.
they're going to wear
It's okay to
their
have a
true
second favorite.
their true white jerseys that they're going to be wearing. That's going to be
Ooh, that's
pretty
gonna be
neat.
slick.
But here's the thing. Welcome to the spotlight, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you are loaded with talent. You've got weapons. But I'm more hyped about the defense. That defense, Coach Hala,
Scary.
that's where his focus is. He's not really an offensive genius. He's more defense. He's the
He
creator that
doesn't
helped
have
Kyle
to
Shanahan.
when you got Aaron.
He helped the 49ers, even though they lost to the Chiefs. But still, he helped the 49ers kind of formulate that defense. This is it. All eyes, especially now. It's funny, a Sunday night to a Monday night game still at New York. That's pretty neat to see that. So I think it's going to be 1-1. But here you go, McDermott. We have no Von Miller, so Von Miller is still recuperating. So that's already going to be a problem going after Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to pick apart that Bills defense. And the problem is welcome back to that corner as well. That was a scary accident last year.
Oh, DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, he's back.
I'm not sure if he's playing yet. Is he?
I think they say he's ready to go.
He's
He's
ready.
to go.
He's good to go.
But it doesn't matter because they're just going to get torched. So I'm going to take the Jets on this one. You guys, that concludes week 1 of the game. Stay tuned. Follow us. Tell us who you like. If you disagree, hey, write the comments below. We want to hear from you guys. All right, week 1, we have the DDK Fantasy Football lineup where you pick a quarterback, receiver, running back on defense. I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan. Who should you put in your lineup for week 1?
Oh, so I have to pick a quarterback, or I just pick one player?
Just pick a quarterback. You can pick 1 or 2 receivers. It doesn't matter. Just help out the people. Help the community out so they can win.
Okay, well, I feel like one that people didn't really probably sleep on is Dak. Dak gets a lot of fantasy points because they just air the ball out, and he has great receivers to catch the ball. So I think Dak's definitely a quarterback you should start. Running back wise, also I think not a lot of people may have taken him is Jamal Williams for New Orleans because, of course, Kamara's not there. He's out for 6 games. So Jamal Williams is going to step up, and I think we've seen as an RB2 in Detroit, he racked up fantasy points. So I'm excited to see how many points he gets starting, you know. Receiving wise, let's not make this too obvious. I don't know. Let me see.
There's a lot. It's hard.
There's a lot, yeah. So receiving wise, I guess you could go Juju. I mean, he's the wide receiver 1 now in New England, and I'm sure Mac Jones is going to target him a lot. I'm not sure exactly how well of a matchup that is against Philly, but I mean, he could be a good flex.
Yeah, looking at the list here, I would say my choice if you were, thinking about it, if it wouldn't be a bad pick if to put in Matthew Stafford against Seattle. Even though Cooper Kupp is out, he's gonna throw a lot to just Van Jefferson, get the ball moving, get you some fantasy points. But if you're looking for somebody that, because all the top picks, they're obviously picks, but
Sure.
I would go with him. And running back wise, if you're looking for a running back to try to plug in there, get you some points, you can't go wrong with Cam Akers. Rams also, they're gonna move on.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I think quarterback, Tua's going to go off. So I think if you can get him in your lineup, that's going to be a good quarterback as long as he's healthy. Last year, he was lighting it up. I think the same is going to be this year. He's got a great receiving core. Probably already playing those two main receivers, Hill and Waddle. I was going to throw out the receiver. I think I said DJ Moore earlier. I really like him in Chicago. There's so many receivers, it's hard to really say. I also think Adam Thielen in Carolina is going to have a good rapport with Bryce Young. Being that possession receiver, I think that's going to be someone, and sure-handed. I think Bryce Young's going to lean on that early on in his career. Running back, I'd say a must-play would probably be the Ravens running back, J.K. Dobbins. They're playing the Texans. They're probably going to get up pretty good, and it's going to be a heavy rush game. And I feel like Derrick Henry has beat the Texans by himself for like 4 times in a row. So they're not the best rushing defense. So I would go with the Baltimore Ravens running back, which Dobbins should be starting. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go QB-wise, for sure it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's got a lot of weapons out there. And then running back, what's the Vikings' new running back?
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely be. Madison's gonna be stepping it up. Wide receiver wise, I was gonna say Adam Thielen, but I guess I'll go with T. Higgins. He should be pretty good. My other thing was DJ Shark.
Ooh, not bad, Everett. Not bad. All right, well, I'm going to be a cerebral assassin here. So, in my fantasy football lineup on the run game, Bijan Robinson. Are you kidding me? This guy is going to take the load. He's going to be running the ball. So, he's going to just carry on the team. Now, for a sleeper, if you want a flex option, I'm going to concur with Don. I'm going to take Walker from the Seattle Seahawks. I feel they're going to run all over the Rams. The Rams are going to struggle. They're not going to be able to stop the run, so the Rams are going to be sucking big time. I can tell you that right now. Also, let's do not forget the spotlight, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got some weapons. I would take him as well as a quarterback. Defensively, now here, this is catchy, but I would say defensively, take the Baltimore Ravens. I feel what Baltimore is going to do is it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple what the Texans are going to do. So they're just going to do is stay conservative. They're just going to go after C.J. Stroud and just kind of run him out of his game. So that will pretty much conclude so far the DDK Fantasy Football lineup. Any shout-outs before we leave? Starting off with you, Don.
Hey, just shout out to fellas here for being on the show and getting together and talk sports.
Shout out to Chiefs Kingdom. I can't wait for this Super Bowl run this year, man.
Shout out to you guys and everyone behind the scenes.
shout out to all my Bengals Who Dey fans, and NFL's back, baby.
I am all excited. Shout out to, of course, the staff that makes everything possible. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to you guys. We're finally diving into week 1 of the season. Shout out to my family. I love you guys very much. Gabby and the family, I love you guys. You know that. Also, I want to give a special shout out to, believe it or not, I want to give a shout out to Driston for just last year. I mean, let's give him credit. Last year, he was persistent. He made me a believer. I was this close going to a local Walmart. $11, Chiefs shirt. Not bad. But then I put it on, and I can't look like a hot dog. Ketchup and mustard.
Did it burn your skin a little?
Yes, I had eczema all over my back. So I said, no. I decided, forget it. I said, forget it. But you guys, indeed, I am so excited. Week 1's about to kick off tomorrow and Saturday. This is going to be a tough game. Roll Tide. Alabama is going to be getting the University of Texas coming into town. I think Alabama will take care of business. And shout out to Colorado. We looking forward to Coach Prime Time taking
An
on the
old
Cornhuskers.
Big 8 rivalry there.
Oh, yeah, indeed. You guys, thank you for tuning in and look forward to the next episode. We're out.